Dear directors, today we are going to present to you the results of our research and provide an outline of the strategies Ryanair should adopt over the next 3 years in order to continue being Europe's leading low-fare airline. Our marketing team consists of Alejandra, Lukasz, myself, I'm Frédéric, V, and Dominic. I'm going to present to you the pastel analysis of our team.
And I'm going to talk about the SWOT analysis, so the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats.
I'm going to identify the 4 fundamental areas within which marketing objectives should be defined, and I will also give 4 smart marketing objectives which the company could pursue.
I will be talking about the marketing strategies.
And I will be talking about the marketing actions.
Let us first identify the macro environment Ryanair operates in, which is very complex for the aviation industry because it is spread over many countries and therefore undergoes many influences. We will examine those using the pastel factors. Political factors are especially complex within the aviation industry as they vary from country to country and are not easy to generalize. One factor which has changed over the past years is the deregulation from the supply side, making it easier for competitors to enter the market and causing lower prices due to price competition. On top of that, there is increased union activity to raise the salaries of board and airport staff, which are driving up the costs for the individual companies. Also, geopolitical tensions have an influence on the aviation industry, such as the conflict between Russia and the Western world, which might in the near future lead to an increase or decrease in oil prices because of embargoes and sanctions between the parties involved. Another example is the various military actions that are currently going on, like in the Ukraine and in several countries of the Middle East, which led to the blockage of airspace, causing additional financial efforts for the airlines to rearrange the routes and to revenue decreases because flights must be cancelled. One major economic factor influencing the aviation industry is the globalization and expansion of businesses, which increases the need for more frequent business travels. Furthermore, the rising oil prices over the past years have a major influence on the aviation sector. One factor that goes hand in hand with both the economic and social factors is the increasing number of international families who have to travel long distances to visit each other. Social factors also include the retirement of the baby boomer generation that is currently taking place, which leads to a large breakaway of business customers. Another cross-categorical factor is the rising number of advocates for green traveling, which is a social and environmental factor, and a problem for the industry because flying counts as one of the most polluting travel options. This, however, can be offset in the future as current technological experimentations are successfully progressing towards developing alternative and less environmentally harmful fuels like, for example, hydrogen. Also, do simpler booking portals and new processing applications create a new ease of traveling via plane and significantly reduce the time for the customers. On top of that, the advanced booking portals make it easier for the customer to compare the prices of different airlines. Nevertheless, although the industry depends on technology, there is also a downside to those factors, as the improved communication and conference tools make traveling for minor and less important meetings redundant. Another critical area for this industry are the environmental factors. As previously mentioned, one challenge for the aviation industry is the increasing awareness of the carbon footprint. This is reflected by stricter regulations regarding the CO2 emissions, which limit the airline and increase costs for CO2 taxes and fees. In addition to the emissions, the destruction of the environment to construct the airports and to flow up the oil increases the number of aviation adversaries. Last but not least, the legal factors for the industry include that there's an increased number of lawsuits against airlines due to crashes and safety issues, but also for convenience-related issues such as delays, because the consumers are becoming less tolerant towards their overly demanding expectations.
It
It is fundamental to analyze the internal and external elements surrounding the company in order to know its strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This allows the company to enhance their performance through defining and targeting areas that need improvement. We have multiple strengths that differentiate us from typical airlines. We're the biggest low-fare airline and have grown from 5,000 passengers in our founding year to over 81 million passengers during 2013. Extra baggage fees, onboard meals, and other products and services are considered ancillary revenue that increased by 4% last year. This is definitely a strength because these services are necessary for certain customers and provide 20% of our total revenue instead of generating costs like in traditional airlines. We have very interesting promotions that satisfy the needs of our clients and encourage them to continue using our products and services. We also handle homogeneous aircrafts that allows us to have effective and low-cost maintenance by using the same cleaning methods and materials for every air vessel. Even though the passenger aviation industry is highly regulated concerning the passenger security, we have an unblemished 29-year safety record. Our efficient green policy makes sure that we use barely more than a third the fuel to transport our average passenger 1 mile. We constantly hold the first or second place regarding seating density efficiency. We have fast, dynamic, and easy to navigate online and mobile facilities to book and check in via the web that reduces labor costs or waiting time and eliminates travel agencies' commission. We care about our community and donate a high percentage of our product's revenue to charity. For example, we donated the 100,000 euros profits from our world-famous 214 cabin crew calendar to the Teenage Cancer Trust Foundation in the UK. We operate in secondary airports, lowering costs. Our ground turnaround rate is about half the time compared to traditional airlines. And we have almost inexistent baggage complaints. On the other hand, we have various weaknesses that we must address to have a stronger brand. One of our strengths is also weakness. Secondary airports are located on the outskirts of the cities, meaning a longer commute for our passengers. We must find the perfect balance between secondary and primary airports. We also have very controversial ad campaigns that label us as a sexist and careless organization, which leads to a bad reputation, mostly because we use cheap PR to get our message out there. We have limited destinations when compared to different airlines. Constant growth is necessary. We are being left behind by our competitors due to our poor technological implications during flights. Prices can be misleading because new clients are not aware of the no baggage policy. Some people argue that we have poor customer service due to Michael O'Leary's controversial quotes and the low number of customer service phone lines. We have a range of opportunities to take in consideration. We could expand into Northern Europe, Asia, and even America. We could also use greener flying options due to new technological discoveries that could also allow us to travel for longer periods and implement onboard entertainment. Take advantage of globalization and weekend traveling trends, and increase the number of international families traveling to visit each other by developing different family packages. Our threats include natural disasters, economic recovery, globalization, deregulation from the supply side that drives new competition, social networks that keep people in touch over long distances, neglecting the use of flights, increased union activity, recent tensions between countries that can influence oil prices, increased lawsuits against airlines due to crashes, safety, delays, or related issues, online portals that make it easier to compare different airlines, and military actions that lead to airspace closure.
Areas in which marketing objectives should be defined are constant leadership in terms of being the cheapest airline available, market share domination, financial sustainability, and improvements in public relations area. As everyone knows, our competitive advantage is that from all the services we provide towards our clients, the only one which is necessary to be paid for is the airline ticket itself. Our customers can decide by themselves whether they would like to use our other services such as extra luggage, reserved seat, priority when entering the plane, or the opportunity of eating, drinking during the flight, just to name a few. However, It is completely their own and independent choice to do so. In order to constantly maintain the leadership, we have to monitor our competitors' behaviors in similar aspects and therefore respond to such situations both wisely and competitively. Secondly, with an estimation of over 81 million passengers being transported throughout this year alone, Ryanair carries nowadays more international passengers than any other airline worldwide. Although the future for the currently operating European market segment looks optimistic, the company is aiming to grow its area of influence by expanding towards North America within the nearest future. The beginning paths, which are recommended for their extremely high throughput opportunity, are as follows: London, New York, Paris, New York, Madrid, New York, and Amsterdam, New York. Last but not least, the company is constantly achieving extremely outstanding financial results. Partly reason for that may be the international crisis which occurred in 2008 and ended recently. However, people still feel insecure of their incomes, therefore they tend to go with the cheapest options available in most parts of their life. Such option for air traveling is Ryanair. The strategy it should apply is to enter the markets which were greatly affected by the crisis and countries which citizens have low purchasing power. After following such objectives, Ryanair will enormously dominate the international market share within the nearest future and achieve outstanding financial results. Finally, public image improvements. Ryanair has one of the worst public images worldwide. In order to improve it, it should restructure policy it has towards its clients. First of all, its employees should be given slightly higher wages. It would increase the standard of their work, which will then result in more positive influence on customers. What is more, the company should change policy about chargeable fees it requires. One of the biggest issues are overpriced boarding cards. If the prices would get lowered, customer satisfaction would greatly increase.
Some of the most popular marketing strategies adopted by airlines include cost leadership strategy, which means to work towards having the lowest operational cost in the industry and from there price according to the competitors in order to meet sales and profit objectives. Another strategy which works well to enhance customer retention is to strategically pursue specific offerings, which means to send previous customers specific promotions according to their observed preferences. After multiple researches, we have come to the conclusion that the best marketing strategies to be adopted by Ryanair should be to continue working towards the cost leadership in the industry and to transfer the cost advantage to the consumer by adopting a price leadership strategy, which will help us to attract a broader range of customers. Additionally, we should combine this with specific offerings and an increase in the service level to enhance customer retention, which will help us stabilize our growth rate because we will not have to acquire as many new customers to make up for the lost ones. Furthermore, one positive side effect of loyal customers will be that they advertise for us with no extra cost in form of word-of-mouth marketing. Lastly, we need to restructure our marketing communication strategy towards creating a more service-oriented and less controversial image of our company. This is probably one of the most important aspects since our research has shown that the overall brand image of Ryanair is negative, since it is known for its controversial statements, profit greed, inferior service level, and overpriced add-ons. Therefore, we believe that we could improve this image by sponsoring some beneficial events and to communicate the company's efforts to improve the customer service.
To achieve the strategies mentioned previously, Ryanair must undertake certain actions. First up is price-reducing actions for holidays. Most of the airlines have an increasing pricing scheme during these periods, and doing the opposite can level up Ryanair's competitiveness. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean reducing overall seat price, but more like giving benefits out of the ordinary. For example, more kilograms in luggages or free drinks on flights. Actions must also focus on enhancing customer service. We should improve airport assistance and show our improvement to the world with better press correspondent personnel who will advertise and keep a good working relationship with the media. Also, we must create incentives for our personnel. Motivating employees is part of a managerial action that will make them happier, thus enhance their attitude toward customers. Moreover, customers usually experience unpleasant surprise when they forget to print a boarding pass, and Ryanair would charge them for doing so. We could associate ourselves with Passbook or other smartphone applications so that boarding pass can be kept on smartphone or tablets. Finally, Ryanair should associate themselves with other Sky partners and create miles for faithful customers, giving them a sense of membership and importance in your organization. This would also help improve their professional image.
Overall, we can conclude that if Ryanair will adopt and stick to those strategies in order to benefit from the opportunities and to mitigate the threats that the environment we operate in exposes to us, we will continue growing at this pace in the future, and Ryanair will be able to stabilize its position at the top of the market.